That August, what's the number? Hey! 8 what? So we have 13, 8, and then 20. Let's do like that. I actually wanted to use that to draw your attention. Now, I know we have discussed about music theory, but I want to go further by letting you understand that we cannot discuss music without talking about knowing it in practical. There's a problem. And the problem is the fact that, you know, if it is possible for us to do music without recognition, what do I mean by recognition? As in, do music without writing it down. Everybody will do music. In Nigeria, everybody does music without writing it down. Because we believe that the majority of the people that listen to their music understands the music. But here, you as a formal person, you know what formal is? Togolese, what is formal? When you say formal, what do I mean by that? Yes. She said important. Who can help us out? I don't understand that language. When you say formal, everybody here is on a back. Yeah, what I caused it because of that nickname that I gave her. Oh yeah, tell us what formal is. Voice. Voice. Points. I don't understand what you say. Poised. Poised, right? Okay? Shakira. I think Shakira dance. Alright, let's have it. What do you understand by formal? This is awesome. DS3 students. You don't know what formal is. Okay, when you say formal letter and informal letter, what does that mean? Enala, tell us what formal is.
Formal is like there's something to be questioned in a serious tone, like a.
Alright, let me do it this way so that we don't waste our time. Formal means something that has to do with writing it down. It's educative. It has to do with the square, the four square of education, learning. It has to be written down. Informal means that you are dealing with somebody that is not in the realm of education. As in, what I mean is that music, when it's written down, it can be understood, it can be read by others who are not in that position that you are in at that moment that you did that right thing. It means some people can understand your language out there. But now, the informal aspect is that, let's take for example the Nigerian music industry, what they are doing presently now. Let's take it from the one that is raining down, the Duduke thing. The beat in Duduke is what you have in Davido. If I tell you, say I love you, that same beat is what you have in Yaya's Kukere. That same beat is what you have 40 years back in Vitolaya's music. Ebani sọ fún Sisi kó má lọ, mo ti sọ wípé fàájì tẹ́lẹ̀, baby jọ̀wọ́ kó má lọ. That same beat is what we are now. That is informal. Now, you know that same music, that same beat can be written down with music theory. It means that out there, music can be unwritten, but here it can be written. How? We talked about the alphabet. You don't go to school without knowing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, down to Z. But it's like this. In the educational sector, you don't jump to the university without going through secondary school. You don't come to secondary school without going to primary school. In primary school, what are the basics? You are taught introduction to what you are going to do in secondary school. Are you with me? You are taught what you are going to do in secondary school. They call it basic. For example, basic science, basic tech, and so on and so forth. It's only art that does not have basic. Art is about creativity. It's about your handwork. You start from the primary down to the university the same way. The only thing is that it is not given to you in the heavy form, where you have if I start to say, let's take for example Iboku art. I think you have done Iboku art, isn't it? You have done Ife art. Mind you, these areas are going to come out, either you like it or not. I keep telling you all the time. So when I stop, you just tell me yes. I don't want to believe you went home and you came back without having that memory in your head. So Willis, tell us a bit about just brief Ife art. You know, it's not part of our music. I just want to see if the memory is still there. Make it snap, make it snap. I don't have much time. Let's see. Angel. Make it snap. Why are you good late to the class? Oyi. Alright, sit down. You see what I'm saying now? It is not going to be easy for us to discuss something in class. Why are you late to the class? And you can't be able to tell me what you have done in the past. Tamara, tell me about the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Tell me what you know about them. You know, when you just discuss in class and say the musical alphabets are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you try and construct, let's say you want to come and give me a C major here. A C major. Did we talk about octaves in this class? Did we talk about intervals in this class? We did. Check your notes. Chords, I did. Octaves, chords, intervals, and so on. Check, I did. Unless you don't have your notes, you brought something else from home. Did we or not? Hello, I want to hear the students. Did we or not? We did. So, Tamara, quickly come and construct a C major here. Make it snappy. Hello. Hello, what is people mommy now? Go and sit down. Good, we are come. So standing up, I love that you decided to nominate yourself for my boss. So you are come and show us. God bless you. After all, you had to be later to do this is my opportunity to fight back. So yeah. You will go, you will go. Show us this image of first. Eh? Eh. She said, I said, every letter is C major. Now, listen. All these letters can be in major, can be in minor, brilliant girl. They can be in major, they can be in minor. Go and do whatever you want to do. You are mixing it up for us. Alright, guys. Now, remember I said we discussed about the distance. That distance will be called what? Hello, the distance will be called what? Somebody said it now, don't be afraid. Interval. The intervals. Now, when you say C major, right, can you help us out with C major? Do you know how it looks like? Can you sketch it? You see our problem now. Listen. Let's do it hello. Let's do this way. When you say C major, this is C, right? You put C, E, F, G, and what? A, B, and C. Are you getting it now?
Yes, sir.
I started from where?
C.
And I ended where? That's C. Look at what I'm trying to do here. Listen, what if you have in your question, you're asked to identify if this is a C major or if this is a C minor or whatever, or they tell you that C major and they started with E and added C and started with D and added C, so just pick them as it. You just go and say mini minor, like what? Don't be constant anymore. It starts with the C and ends with the C. There's a possibility that, listen, what would this be? This symbol is for what? Sharp. Now, and let me put another one here. No, this one should be flat. Sorry. Flat. We are still talking about the C itself here. So when I tell you that starting from here to this place is a distance and it's called interval and becomes a C major. And then you don't understand that the ABCD you have here is just to construct your major or minor. Now, there is one thing I want you to understand now. And what is that thing? Look at this. If this is now the black dots, follow my artistic representation. The black dots sometimes fall within, like it should come from this angle to this angle. It will form within this line, but I just want to use this to simplify it. Let's imagine that we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Here are what keys? The colored one will be called what? Black. The uncolored one is what? White. This white always represents the major scales. The major. Sometimes it carries this along. Sharp. The black represents what? Minor. And sometimes it carries what? Flat. Sometimes it sounds flat. It sounds flat because you want to compose music. Music has to be you releasing tension and bring tension. You know, it's like for it to be meaningful, this sharp, flat, and whatever, minor, major, all have to be used together. Now, if I have to do this, if this is a note, sorry, I have combined it here now. This is what? This is what? Two notes now. What do you call two notes combined together? We discussed it in the dial notes. I've done it before. Check it. Two notes combined, two or more notes is what? What? Clap for that girl. It's a chord. So now listen. I'm just trying to bring us back to the fact that hello, what you're going to be seeing a lot is you identifying the skills, identifying notes, and at the same time understand the symbols. These represent the flat, this represents the sharp. There are other ones. If I have to do this, that thing that looks like I have big donuts will be what? Is this semi-brief or a whole note? Check, it should be a whole note. It should be a whole note. When you're going to have a problem is that you have to identify the symbols. Are you sure it's your kids? Here. Now, brilliant girls. Once you know all these things, like this, listen. You remember we discussed about musical instruments. In some of your questions, it's easy for them to just come and say, let me just try this simple one. You know what this is?
Yes.
Now, it's a gong. But in what category of musical instrument can you put this? We discussed this thing before you left. Not striking. I know they strike before it sounds. That striking is the definition of what we are looking for now.
No.
She said membranophone. Hello, hello. From the word membrano alone, you should know animal. It has to do with membrane, the skin. It means membranophone is made from animal skin. So let's go on. Keep idiophone. Brilliant, clap for yourself. Brilliant. Idiophone. Now it's self-sounding instrument when you strike it. Now listen. These are some of the tricks. The diagram will be shown, and you'll be asked to identify the particular musical category. Now, it's different from us understanding or reading this. Reading, it's just like when somebody asks you, how many strings do we have on a box guitar? How many strings do we have on a box guitar? 5, 6, 4, 3, 2. Who's right here? Somebody said 7. I'm gonna say 8. That must be a special guitar. Alright, now, above it all, what we are saying here is this. I asked somebody to identify for me the C we just did before I came here. And we gallantly went to the board. How many lines? How many bars? 4. And I said, what is this? He said, I'm coming up. You need to be calming down. You need to be relaxed. And I said, Mommy, calm down. I am. And went ahead. And he did like this. What is this? The breast. That's the breast. And I said, Bros, what is this? He says, it's image, of course. And I said, this is what you read in your dream. This is image for you. Okay? And I said, okay, that's image. Let me do it this way. The difference between these two symbols. And he said, this one is coming down, this one is going up. And this one has 2 fingers. And I said, there must be fingerlings. And what I just observed is that, listen, he went from not looking at the fact that he's going to write an exam sooner. He didn't consider that. You see, my major concern is not about you writing the exam alone. Whatever you are doing right now, you are not the first person that's going to do this. And the worst part is that right now, as you are here, thinking about this your junior level, all over Nigeria, people are going to write the same exam with you. And guess what? In other schools, some people are going to deal with this. And so forth. They are going to deal with the practical. In your own, have you seen your timetable? We are starting on Monday, 24th of Monday. And you're alone, and you're having CCE test. After the first paper, the second paper, I think the third one is the practical.
Yes, but it's not that. It's not drawing. It's not that.
It's not that deep.
That deep. Tamara.
It's the same. I saw Mondo. Listen, Tamara. Formally, I think they used to be like this. Maybe when you do your theory and objective the first day, I think the next day you do your. But this one, what I saw on your timetable this morning is the same day for the three of them. It's the same day. Listen, there's no big deal about it. It is a big deal. Hello, it is a big deal. It is a big deal when you get into the exam hall and some questions become like a mystery. It becomes like a nightmare. It becomes like when you're watching a horror movie. You know, you see some questions and you have to do. The reason is that you don't know the answers. What we have treated so far in CCA does not cover music. You're dealing with drama, questions are going to be coming from drama. You're dealing with CCA, questions are going to be coming from CCA. You're dealing with music. And all the three of them, we only dealt with the basics. We didn't go in depth. We didn't go in depth because it takes more than just the scheme of work from GS1 to GS3 to cover that. There are some things I don't want to say now because you understand. We need to go beyond that. My teaching you in class, you need to read on your own. See, there's one thing I want you to understand. Every year, there's salary. What comes with salary? There's one thing that is very symbolic with salary. You can guess. The salary. The salary. If you close your eyes, you open your eyes. If you are sleeping and they wake you up, what comes with salary? You say salary. You know why? You know it. You are confident. Look, when you put your hand on the switch, you know the light will on. You are confident. You know that the light will on. But it's not. Before you can decide to press a switch, you are confident there's light, either by generator or you can't just go there and be a fool. I mean, only you can do it. You know, he's very funny. She's erratic in nature. Maybe she just go to the sea and say, "Mommy, I will show you today that daddy will have to buy another switch." Bang, 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 bang. I say, "Mommy, go my budget." Bang, 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 bang. I've spoiled it. Your mom is laughing. Oh, I thought you said if it's not on, no. That's why I asked. Because before you can go to the switch.
Maybe the light has spoiled.
And the light has spoiled, and you know that they are going to be stupid enough to go to the light that is spoiled. It means you are playing it with it as a toy because you know the light is spoiled. Let her finish her phone. We will help her out.
Light blow and you are not going to light blow. So you say, oh, you never on the light and you walk, on the light. I want to know what you playing with.
It's only. I don't listen. Her name is Oyi. I don't know why the other person is bending you with that. Better change your own name from Oyi. And let only have be buried Oyi.
So I'm only mixing like I'm the only of our family.
Your family. You are not the end of NTIC. Because right now you are dealing our class and you are dealing with something else. Go. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. All right, as you are saying. Now, it means that there's a lot that we have to understand by going through it ourselves. You know, when you read and practice, imagine if I have to say, draw a stick man, you make a circle like this, with this. Everybody is familiar with it, you know it's a stick man, isn't it? If you don't practice, some people will still make it like this. Some will still make it like this. I know you. I know your drawing. I know your work. The same thing goes with music. The same thing goes with music theory. Once you forget the ABCD, you forget the cause intervals and whatever, when you get to that examination, you know to solve any question. Somebody's talking about mathematics, they say x is equal to 2 minus 2x plus 1. Already, if you know the value of x, you can solve it. You only need to put the value of x here and cross and put. But if you don't know the value of x, you can still solve it. You only need to place x, maybe because this x and this x and this, because you need 2 minus 2 and this, and you get the answer. It's not like that with music. The symbols, the terms, the theory is very, very essential for you to go through it. Now, in our CCA, we discussed about, remind me. In our CCA, the things we discussed about.
Camera.
You see that photography thing? You guys need to read very well the whole. Because listen, I asked you to bring the material, nobody brought.
So, I thought I was saying,
listen, how come listen. It used to be, I wish, did you see any girls upstairs? Are they around here? Like past students? No. The boys, we have those boys that we have taught 5 years, 6 years, 7 years ago, they are around now. They are around. This morning, something happened. I saw the SS3 students, all the boys, they have Afro. And it happened that some of these boys too did it when they were in school. And I said, look at your juniors. They are replicating what you left behind. Are you carrying the same hair? And they said no. So the issue is this. You see, in every subject, I can only revise with you. I can't put in your head what I know unless you go through it yourself. Under music, we have musical instruments, we have music theory. You now have to start discussing chords. You have to discuss scales, major scales, minor scales. There's durian, there's all those names. All those names in our next class, I'm going to break it down. Bring them shadow by shadow. But what I'm trying to drive at here is that, first, try to understand the symbols without me telling you now. When you know the symbols, then I will now break it down for you. Let me give you an example. I said, let me show you this thing. We have I want to look for something that I can. Okay, let's like this. Major scale. The major scale starts from the root. What's the root? You understand what I mean by the root? Aida, you are letting me down because what happened? Even online, we were so superb. What happened? But you can only have been. You went party. Begins. Who's that? What's that? Who's that? Oh, Tamara. Thank God you are able to understand that one. The root, the beginning, it begins. That's where it all starts from. Now, when I say the root, we have the root, and the next thing you have. Let's use this one as our WWH, WWH. While R is the root note, we have this W is the whole step. That's that note that I give you. Is the whole step. Why? What do you think this H will represent? If this one, who said that? William girl. That is the half. That is the half. Let me see. It's not complete. If this one is complete, half. Complete, half. That is a major scale. Now, let's now say how to play a major scale. We have C major scale. Aisha, come and give me the C major scale. After I show you what the C major scale is. Okay. So I don't be writing what is this? Find out, yeah. Aisha, no idea. Yeah, Aisha, who is Aisha? Yeah. Don't go sit down. Don't know. Mother is there. They are coming. What they come? Morgan. You was a general guy. Master. Mama, what do you watch out? All right, you got it. I want to look for the star. Sit down. Let's continue the whole stuff. Let's